make a brief history of the pressurized steam. Talked about the clean pressurized steam that is now available, and that's a new trend. And the jacketed steam humidifier, which we call ILSP, P for pre-heating chamber, and non-jacketed steam humidifier, which we call the steam-absorb ILS. Then the quest for the zero condensate wasted that had been launched a few years ago by some of our competitors. And then we will end with just a quick summary of our offer on the pressurized steam humidification. So the history. Everybody knows Tesla, that has been popularized by our friend Elon Musk and of course Mr. Volt, but not many people knows Thomas Savery. And Thomas Savery, as well as Thomas Newcomen and James Watt, have been the inventors of the steam pump, and that was not yesterday or in the 19th century, but in the 18th century, between the year 1700 and 1715. So they made the first steam pump, and with this they have been able to make to use steam to power boats, first factories, and then boats and vehicles such as trains or even cars. The steam power is still very used everywhere around us, but we don't talk too much about it. And as most of the electricity power plants everywhere in the world are powered by steam boilers. Okay, and large building like hospitals are heated, and they are using a lot of steam. And some of North American cities like Montreal have even a steam network inside the cities, which is available for any city in downtown. So pressurized steam is available in any commercial building in Montreal. And this is provided by the city power plant, which is located also downtown. So this is what led to the what we call the first industrial revolution and the modern age that we are living in. So the thing is, the steam from a steam boiler carries gases, and this can contain the chemical. Sorry. So the gases from steam from a steam boiler will carry mainly carbon dioxide and oxygen. The concentration of these gases is dependent on the composition of the boiler being fed to the boiler. So what is recommended by the manufacturer of the steam boiler and steam system is to add chemicals to the feed water to the boiler, and those chemicals, mainly amine compounds, are designed to neutralize the acidic properties of the steam and the condensate, mainly the condensate. So this is to reduce the corrosion and the sludge and on all the piping and of course the boiler. So of course, with over the years, most people went away from the pressurized steam system because of this, because of the possible harmful for human beings by having chemicals being sprayed into the ductwork. Okay. So then, the good news is with any problem, there is a solution. So the solution is to use now for a clean steam pressurized system, which is made mainly with the unfired steam generator. What is an unfired steam generator? Is a system. It's really close to the humidifier, but it's working under pressure. So it's producing clean steam using the boiler steam or high temperature hot water as an energy source. So there is no more fire inside the unit boiling the water, but only the steam pressure from the steam boiler. And with this, they are able to avoid the chemicals. The temperature are less much lower than in a steam boiler, and they will and with this unit, which is by the way Unfire steam generator on the picture, produced and offered by Armstrong International also, but there is many companies that are offering now Unfire steam generator, or they can call it sometimes clean steam generator. So this Unfire steam generator will be used for humidification or for sterilization in the hospital, because of course the primary steam pressure from the steam boiler or from the steam network cannot be used for sterilization in hospital or labs. Of course, also for pharmaceutical and in food processing, in some food processing. Okay. So where we will find the Unfire steam generator, this is a list, and this list is coming from the manufacturer of Unfire steam generator. Okay. So of course, hospital and medical centers, universities, nursing homes, pharmaceutical industries, food processing, art museum, biomedical research lab, commercial laundries, hotels, apartment buildings. This is to give you an idea of the range of the possible application for live steam humidification. Most of them, when we are selling live steam humidifier, would be, let me grab a pen, would be here in hospital, okay, and medical center. But you can have Unfire steam generator in university, nursing home, let's say hotels. So if you need an humidifier for hotel, if they already have Unfire steam generator, live steam humidifier might be a good option if they have enough capacity. Okay. So let's look at the product now. So this is a steam manifold with jacket from SteamOVAP. So you have one inlet here for the steam, and you have one outlet here. This is for the steam jacket. So what it is a chamber heating the tube, heating the steam manifold, going around, okay, like this, here, and going back there, and then to the next, or to the steam trap. And then here, from the steam separator, we will come with the steam that will be injected or distributed into the airflow. The airflow would be this way, always against the holes. Let's look again at the circuit. So the clean steam supply here, it is recommended to put a shut-off valve. Okay, why? Because when it's not the humidification season, you can close off the system. Otherwise, you will have constant heating up of the duct by the jacket. A strainer, this is to remove the dirt and any foreign element from the steam. With it's a filter. It's called strainer, but it's a filter, and then it's going to the, as I said, to the jacket around, and then back here into the steam separator. The separator is a very simple device, but everything is inside, is made to, in fact, remove any moisture from the steam. So it's looking like a cylinder, and inside this cylinder there will be baffles and screens, And this baffle and screen will make the steam circuit to be very complicated. So then any moisture contained in the steam will catch on the baffle and the screen and fall out to the condensate trap here and can be returned back to the boiler. Okay, because it's still under pressure. All this is under pressure. And then the outlet of the separator will be a clean steam, and clean and I would say without moisture steam going to the control valve and then directly to the distribution in the air duct. So if we look at the section view of the distributor, you see the two chamber, and some will have a wall here. What we have, our design is made so that the two chamber are separated by the tube that is used for the steam humidification. Okay, so that's what Armstrong launched in uh, uh, in the last century, and that was the basic design. What their patent is to have all this into one component. Okay, which all the other manufacturers now are doing in two components. One component for the steam separator and one for the steam valve, which is in fact much more flexible for connection, but also for the different capacity that you can have and for control. Okay. Okay. The same system can be done with several ramps, okay, or several manifold. So if you have a bigger capacity and you need more than one manifold, so then you will put 3, 5, 4, 6 the quantity you need. Okay, so again, you will have a circuit that will be just for the jacket. So one jacket going to the next one, going to the next one, and so on. And at the end, of course, you have a steam trap, and this will be going back to the condensate. And here you have a T in this case, and the steam will go to the separator, removing the moisture from the condensate from the steam, and going to the valve to header, distributing the steam to the different steam manifold into the duct. And of course, this one will have to go also collect the condensate and go back to the boiler. And you will need one condensate trap. FNT means float and thermostatic. Some other will use inverted bucket. We are using float and thermostatic steam trap. Okay, the minimum distance between the different manifold would be 6 inch. Why? Because you need to have an union in between each of the ramp, and you need the space for this. Of course, all this will be assembled on site by the contractor. So to ease off the installation in some cases, or to have a smaller space between or distance between the manifold, we can have all this made in the factory. So then you don't have any more union between the steam manifold, and then you can reduce the distance between the ramp at 3 inches. Okay. That's exactly the same thing, except that there is no union. And this, we are calling it the mini kit. Okay. So let's look at the different capacity for this method. I would say the jacketed steam humidifier called ILSP at SteamOVAP. So there is, in a single, the limitation will be the duct dimension. In fact, single ramp. Okay, we put 150 pounds, but you have a certain capacity per nozzles and the distance between the nozzles, so that's a limitation. Okay. Then the mini kit, again, the same thing. You have a certain limitation in the construction. Okay, so we have limited it to 84 pound an hour. But the multi-ramp, you can go to whatever capacity you want. 3,000, it's not a problem. Of course, higher the capacity will be, more ramps you will need, more steam trap you will need. Okay, there is also a limitation on the length of the preheat jacket that you can handle per steam trap. Okay, the steam pressure, all of the manufacturer of humidifier will publish a 15 psi maximum. Okay, and why this? It's just to be on the under the minimum pressure to have a certified welding component made. Okay, so we can go higher, but then you will increase a lot the price because we need all the certification for welding and the pressure vessel. This is why we are all name any manufacturer, they will limit at 15 psi. Okay. Actuated valve is a 24 volt AC and 0 to 10 or 2 to 10 volts for the control signal. Okay. The options are all stainless steel construction. So sometimes the unfired steam generator are made of stainless steel, and all the steam pipe and all the system will be designed by the engineer all in stainless. So we have an option to have all stainless steel construction. The valve body, the trim, of course the strainer will be stainless steel, and even the steam trap can be stainless steel. We also can offer the actuated on-off shut-off valve. So this is to replace this one. So this one can be an electric actuated valve, okay, instead of a manual. If you want to have a signal shutting off the humidifier when there is no demand. And the safety temperature switch for the condensate. And this will protect the system for any trouble at the steam trap. In case the steam trap is failing closed, the condensate, so the temperature switch or thermostat will be placed here. So in case there is this one that is failed closed, the condensate will build up and come here. And this is what it's called flooded condensate line. So then all this will be full of condensate, and you have a risk of bringing water here out of the ramp. So to avoid this, you put a thermostat here, and this will shut down the valve, so close the valve in case the temperature here is going down. Okay, meaning that the condensate is coming up into the line. Okay, because the steam temperature and the condensate temperature is there is a difference in between the two. Okay, this is how it is made. So this is optional. Why it is optional at Steamova? Because all of the other manufacturers are offering this optional. And if we would have included this into our system, it will have put us out of pricing. Okay, it's all about pricing. But this is a this kind of thermostat. Sometimes the contractor will have access to in other I would say other sources than the humidifier supplier. Okay. So let's look at the SteamOsorb system. The SteamOsorb system is basically the same way to distribute the steam inside the air handling unit or the duct as we are using with atmospheric steam. Atmospheric steam is, steam coming from a electric steam humidifier. Okay, we are working in electric steam humidifier below the 2 psi. Okay, there is no pressure in this. So there is a header and vertical steam. The header for us is always at the bottom part of the ramp, not like some others. Why? Because then if there is condensate accumulated here, you are safe. It will not go. It has very low chance to go inside the vertical ramp. The same way, you have the steam source here, a shutter valve, a strainer, okay, the filter, and then you go directly to the steam separator, and then of course we remove the moisture or any condensate from the steam, and you can bring this to the condensate to the boiler or the unfire steam generator, and then to the control valve, and you go directly here into the duct. The thing is, with this kind of system, everything that is after the valve has no pressure. Okay, so if it has no pressure after the valve, all the condensate accumulated here and going here will not be able to go back to the boiler, which is considered as a loss. Okay, and you can imagine that if you have a lot of tubes, a lot of vertical manifold into an air duct at 55 Fahrenheit, 12 degrees Celsius, you will have a heat exchange in between the two. The hot pipe here will create a lot of condensate going to the drain. Okay. The thing is, this is if you look at the cost, this is the lowest initial investment humidifier you can find on the market. Very few components. Of course, I don't take in account the unfire steam generator in this. Okay. If you take just this, it's very low compared to electric steam humidifier or even the jacketed type. So the thing is, so very easy to install, lowest initial investment cost, but you cannot bring back the condensate from the header to the boiler. Just to remind you that, of course, the nozzles in this case are perpendicular to the floor, to the airflow, always, okay, for the SteamOsorb. So then you have one easy way to limit the losses. You put insulation on the tubes, okay, on the distributor. This is our version of the high efficiency steam distribution, which is the same way for pressurized steams or atmospheric steam. So it's the same circuit again, and again the condensate will go here to drain. You are limiting a lot the condensate going to the drain, so the losses. Okay. So some manufacturer, and this is the quest for the zero condensate or zero loss, So some others are offering different option. Let's go back to this. So then they have tried to make a system to avoid to put the condensate to the drain. So they put a secondary heat exchanger inside the header. So they have a second circuit of pressurized steam. This is located into the header at the bottom of the vertical ramp. Of course, you need insulation around. And this, when the condensate is dropping, will the condensate will drop onto let's say a hot pipe, and this hot pipe will make the condensate to reflash. Okay, so with this, they are able to avoid this. The thing is, all this is very expensive, and they need a minimum pressure and flow and space to put it. So cost, trouble for adjusting to different systems. What we are offering is very simple. You don't want to have any condensate to the drain. We have a system with a pressure motive pump. A pressure motive pump is a component that is used in steam by steam in steam systems for many years. It's using the power from the steam, so the steam pressure power here coming here to this port, and then with this, taking the condensate here, it will repressurize the condensate, and the condensate will be able to go back to the boiler. Okay, so then you have the insulation, so very few condensate, and then on top of this, you put this component instead of a steam trap, and as a more layer than the steam trap, and then you will have all the condensate going back to the unfired steam generator in this case. Okay, it's no loss. It's very simple. It's proven, and it's efficient, and it's working whatever the pressure, the steam pressure will be, and whatever the size of the system will be. Okay, we are offering this as an option. It's called PMP. So, and it's for, of course, the system with the steam-absorbed distribution. So not the ILSP, not the jacketed, which doesn't need this, but the system where you don't, if you don't want to have any condensate going to the drain. So for any of the without insulation or with insulation, the capacity again is endless. We have limited it at 3,000 pounds, but it's the quantity of nozzle, the quantity of pipes, and of course the size of the valve. Again, 15 psi, that's the limit, but we can do higher. The distance between the ramp, 3 inch. Actuated valve would be the same, and the valve also can be offered with the old stainless steel construction. We do offer also the actuated on-off shut-off valve if you need to. And of course, the safety temperature switch on the condensate trap. And we do offer as an option the condensate drain cooler. So what would be the condensate drain cooler? You don't want, sorry. So you don't want this condensate. So this will be very hot condensate. You don't have the right by the codes or the material of the drain of the building able to handle this hot condensate. So you will put here a condensate cooler. We do offer 2 options for the condensate cooler. An electric one. So it's basically taking water from the water source, cold water, and mixing it with the condensate. So it's basically a valve opening and closing based on the temperature, an electric solenoid valve, in fact. So this is the electric condensate cooler, or we do offer it also the temperature actuated valve. Okay, thermostatic valve. That's what it is. So a thermostatic valve. So it's non-electric. You still need a cold water source, and this will mix hot condensate with cold water, and you will have above 140 Fahrenheit. Below 140 Fahrenheit, 60 degrees Celsius water going to the drain. Okay, that's also an option that we have, that we offer. So the control, we usually it's very simple. So on the simple, I always say simple, but you have to know it to find it simple. So basically, you always have airflow switch, ductile limit, relative humidity switch, or humidistat to protect your system against any over humidification. And then you have the optional the float and thermostatic steam trap thermostat. So all this can be put in series. Those two usually are normally closed, so it's always closed, and it will open in case the temperature is going too low or too high. Too low in this case, or humidity going too high in this case. The airflow switch, usually it's normally open, so it's opened when there is no air, closed when there is air movement in the duct. All this will be in series on the 24 volt line source, basically a transformer. So you take the 120 volt, transform it to 24 volt, you supply the electric control actuated valve with it, and you have the 0 to 10 or 2 to 10 volt VDC control signal, controlling in fact the position of the valve, okay, based on the demand. So you have a BAS system giving you the demand, or you put a thermostat, a humidistat in the room, converting the humidity that you are measuring and translating into a 0 to 10 or 2 to 10 VDC signal to the valve. I just represent here where to locate the float and thermostatic trap thermostat. Okay, just before the steam trap or condensate trap. Okay, so let's look at some of the projects we have done with live steam humidification or pressurized steam. Alstom Train Factory in France. Okay, and as a matter of fact, we have sold pressurized steam humidifier before to have sold electric one. This is the very first humidification sales that we have done at SteamOVAP. We have done many of them, not many, but few of them in Chicago, thanks to HL and Associates. So JC Brown, VA, Edward Hines, and some military. So I did not mention it here. We have done with HL some job with the Air Force Base. And then we have done in Cleveland hyperbaric chamber room. This is with a jacketed type humidifier. And in Canada, we have done 2 hospitals. One which is with MRI room in Quebec CHU, and the Fleurimont Hospital located in in the south of Montreal. Okay. Of course, we are not humidifying the whole building, but just specific rooms in those two hospitals. So just to complete here with what we can offer, and what kind of the kind of question you might have from engineers or contractors. Can you do steam jacketed dispersion manifold or steam jacketed humidifier? Yes, we have those. Short absorption dispersion. That's the way Dry Steam is calling them. Short absorption dispersion panel, they are calling. That's the same as a steamosorb. Okay, so which is vertical ramp with a header. Okay, yes, we offer it. Short absorption dispersion with thermal insulation. Yes, we do it, and we are probably the most competitive one on thermal insulation. Okay. Zero condensate wasted. Yes, we have an option. And 30 psi steam pressure. Yes, we can do it. Okay. The thing is, after the valve, the pressure is dropping to atmospheric. So you can have higher pressure before the valve. Of course, we have to be careful on the component we are selecting, but right after the valve and inside the duct, you will have no pressure or very limited pressure on the steam. And do we have backnet? Yes, we do. If you have an engineer that wants to have a backnet on the live steam humidifier, we will have, let me retrieve the control. So this device will be backnet here. The room humidistat will be backnet, and then we will take the 0 to 10 or 2 to 10 volt to the valve. Okay, so you will have a way to give the information to the live steam humidifier through backnet, and then the rest is more traditional. So I think it's covered the topics for today. I will, before we are ending our session, I want to let you know that I will replay the same webinar live on LinkedIn. So we are looking at what are our options, but it will be probably it will be a LinkedIn event. So you will be able to tell eventually your customer, the engineers around you or contractors if they want to join, or you will be able to share the event with your community, as they say. And next month, between us, we will have a very important webinar, which we already had in the past, but I think it's good to come back and just reiterate the IER versus electrode boilers, because from time to time we still have some question about this. Is it equivalent? So this kind of question we will be able to answer next month. So thank you everyone to have joined us today. I think we have a record attendance today. I just wanted to finish by mentioning that we have a new distributor now covering Michigan State. It's not yet on our website, but it will be soon. So we are welcoming Rick Hart from Ultim Mechanical System to the SteamOVAP family. And I hope that some other distributor will join us in the following months. So thank you again. Stay safe and I will just go off